Hello, everybody, and welcome to Stellos Stadium in Nashua, scene of today's high school girls soccer playoff game between Bishop Guertin and Nashua North. I'm John Collins along with Tom King, and we are fortunate to be in a press box.
Yeah, which I don't
today,
like to do
Tom.
this time of year, but I mean these days. But that's okay. I'm far enough away from you, so that's that's good. Winston Houghton, the BG head coach, must feel comfortable, because this is definitely UK weather out here.
Yeah.
You know, it's not good.
Premier League.
It's a cold rain, and it's not the mist that we had yesterday, the drizzle, and that we had on Monday. This is a more of a steady
Drops.
rain. Yeah, more droplets out there.
Raindrops.
Yeah, not fun. Not fun at all. But let's see what that does. All right, Jason Roby and I were talking about it yesterday with the boys game, and you and I talked about it on Monday. The dampness, will it affect the speed of the game? Guertin's got some speed. South has a lot of, Nashua North has a lot of speed, John. Especially, you're going to be calling the names of Emily DeLeo and Ari Dumain a lot today, because they're goal scorers. So this is a team that gave Guertin a tough time in two games. It got a little out of hand towards the end. Not out of hand, but Guertin pulled away in both of them towards the end, because Guertin's got some players on this team. Now, the other thing, too, is I wonder how much North saw that Merrimack game, John, earlier in the week on Wednesday, the prelim, when Merrimack used an offsides trap that really stymied Guertin in the first half, took them out of their rhythm. That's what they're going to have to do today, take the Cardinals out of their rhythm if they can. John, I'll tell you, playoff soccer has been a lot different than regular season soccer. We saw it yesterday. You and I saw it on Monday. I saw it Tuesday at Merrimack. The goal in this game, get a goal. That's the deal.
So Tom King, talking about the talented players on North side that got them the first round bye, helped to get them the first round bye, would mark the Titans as a favorite in this game, but of course in a winner-take-all, as we see our first slip of the game in a fall.
Well, John, I got to correct you there.
Anything? Yep.
The buys were, it was a blind draw.
Oh, it was a blind draw?
Yeah, this was all blind. Everything's a blind draw except for football. So the records really don't matter.
Okay, so Bishop Guertin had to play a round one game and North didn't, but it's not
because
a
of the blind draw.
Okay. So BG playing that Merrimack game, they won 4-1 to get here and take on North in this 3 o'clock game on a October 29. If you're watching it at that time, we're live here on Nashua TV. Our cameraman is Tim O'Neill. As all kinds of new rules apply in the pandemic year of 2020. We'll have to master the rules of a blind draw another time. But just it appeared that maybe by virtue of the blind draw, it was what amounted to a bye for the Titans as they watched a lot of the play-in games. The other play-in games were Portsmouth defeated Dover 3-0. Exeter defeated Winnacunnet 6-0. Central defeated Londonderry 4-2. Hanover over Concord 4-0. And this Bishop Guertin team defeated Merrimack 4-1. Those were 5 playoff play-in games that took place a few days ago to set up this preliminary round. So a lot of teams making the playoffs in New Hampshire Girls Division I soccer for an extra round of play. This is a game to determine who will get to play the Alvern South winner on Sunday. So that'll only be a quarterfinal game on Sunday. The winner of this North BG game against the winner of Alvern South, which is going on simultaneously right now, by the way, in Hudson. So in the rain also. It is a cold, rainy day here in southern New Hampshire here on a Thursday, October 29. As we watch the battle for the all-important first goal. And the throw-in by the Titans. Number 4 is Michaela O'Brien. She'll do it again after it was immediately knocked back out of bounds. Headed forward by Ariana Dumaine. BG steals. A nice step forward by Grace Kelly. Grace plays it across the field, trying to hook up with Katie Boudreau. Sophomore forward plays it back to her defenders. And they will play it all the way back to the goalie, it looks like. No, they're going to go across the field with it. Grace Maloney slides it on over to the near sideline, where Emily Neely advances it to midfield. There's a triple team of Titans around the recipient, who was blocked from us by the tent momentarily. That was Haley Barker for BG, number 18. Neely's throw-in, bandied about. Titans trying to get a handle. Brooke Paquette missed a chance there. She actually stepped over the ball. Headed on forward, Brooke Paquette trying to receive that. She did have it momentarily, but the Titans take it away. Taken back by Haley Barker. Barker intercepted by a host of Titans. Grace O'Malley plays it to Hannah Lord. Hannah Lord tried to go down the middle of the field, but the ball was deflected out to the near sideline. Titans advancing it ever so slowly. Now BG intercepts, and back they come. Grace Kelly through a host of defenders. Grace still has it after changes possession at least once. Neely down the sideline to Barker, and Haley's attempted centering pass goes off of a BG player apparently and out of bounds, so it's a goal kick. If it went off a Titans player over the end line, it would produce a corner kick. We're still awaiting our first corner kick of the game. Right now it's the goal kick for the Titans, as one of the defenders steps up and takes on the duty, as sometimes the goalkeepers give over the responsibility for those goal kicks to one of the players if they think they can get some more distance. BG with most of the ball possession time, as we've looked mostly to our right, center to the right since the start of this one. 2 40-minute halves in high school girls and boys soccer. That one is ricochets out of bounds, and the Titans will have a throw in their defensive end. Out of bounds, a lot of out of bounds play early. Near sideline, in front of the Titans bench. Long throw in, Emily Neely almost got a piece of it. Instead it trickles out of bounds, and Emily Neely with the throw in, the header to advance the ball, but instead it goes out of bounds. It'd be nice if somebody just kicked it right out into the middle of the field at this point. We are just playing the game out of bounds here on the near sideline. And more of the same. So the defender that is booting these goal kicks is Lillian Brooks, number 9. She's got a great foot. She's going to try to gain some distance and maybe flip the field here for a moment. Ball seems to be heavy with the rain today. The Titans get it to about the 30-yard line, and they move it smartly to the middle of the field. BG intercepts now. There's a good challenging kick there for the Titans to stop. BG with the first shot on goal of the game, coming just over 7 minutes in, about 7.5 minutes into the contest. As BG launches one toward the frame. To midfield now, and it's chipped on into the middle. Titans trying to clear. High bounding ball. collected by the Cardinals. Number 24 is Kate Daly, playing midfield in white. The BG Cardinals are in white. You can't really see any of their signature color that they wear in football. Say it's bright green and yellows, but they just have kind of subdued dark green numerals on the white uniforms. Much clearer when you're down close, but from up here they kind of just look like black on white. Easy to read though, not complaining about the uniform numbers today. Good back heel control by Ariana Dumaine, but BG defenders making it tough going for the Titans forwards, who really haven't ventured anywhere near the Bishop Guertin goal since the game began. And the Cardinals would like to keep it that way, as Emily Neely boots it far down the field, goes out of bounds off of a BG player. Throw in for the Titans. The pass maybe had too much mustard on it, forces the Titans defense to go in deep and kick it out of bounds. So the Cardinals trying to get something going here with all this offensive zone possession time. They did have that one shot on goal a minute ago. That was the first of the game, though. And again, the Titans content to play the ball out of bounds whenever the threat presents itself here on the near sideline. Might have been a handball involved there as the fight for possession was going on. The Cardinals playing it back to midfield. And now ball is centered as Kate Daly slides it across, but intercepted by a midfielder for North. The Titans trying to mount their first offensive attack of the game, sliding it into the middle, but BG defense is waiting. Collecting far sideline. Delaney Ramalho, number 13, getting a touch. Now back to the back line defenders, and they will play it across to get away from the forwards. Grace Maloney up the middle, and the ricochet benefits the Cardinals as they collect near midfield. Haley Barker played it back a bit to Kate Daly, cross to Ramalho. Delaney down the sideline. Well, that was also Katie Boudreau, number 9, figuring in the Guertin possession far sideline. Under 30 minutes to go now in the first half. We are scoreless here, live on a Thursday, October 29 of 2020. A preliminary round game. Winners season continues to play the winner of Alvern South, going on simultaneously in Hudson. And that will be considered a quarterfinal round game on Sunday, November 1, the first day in November on Sunday. That is also the day we turn the clocks back 1 hour. We haven't made note yet, so that's Halloween night to the morning of Sunday, November 1st, when we turn our clocks back an hour. And it gets darker even earlier at that point. So if that's a 3 o'clock game on Sunday, it'll probably get dark by the time the game ends. There's a spill at midfield. The officials didn't see anything amiss there, so there's no whistle, no stoppage. Much different game than field hockey in that way. It's played right here on the same pitch at Stellos. There's constant whistles, because there's a lot of rules that can be broken in field hockey. But it is possible to play a lot of minutes in soccer without ever hearing a whistle, and I think that's the case right now for the Titans in blue and the Cardinals in white. Now, BG trying to develop something here as the defense had a momentary lapse in the Titans' end. They had a giveaway there, and they cleared out of bounds off of who? They call this a throw-in for North, apparently, the way the teams are setting up. This is Michaela O'Brien firing it in. Finds open space, though, so it's a loose ball scramble. And the Titans end up with it midfield. There's a missed opportunity there. A couple of Titans near midfield open. And the pass overshot ends up in the possession of Bishop Guertin, and they seem to be making something of it here. Advancing down the far side, out of bounds, throw in for the Cardinals as the ball boy hands a new ball. That'll be dry only for a moment as it's played into the wet Montefield turf. BG reloading as they take it back to their back line. Emily Neely near sideline now to the middle. Nice side heel pass attempt by Brooke Paquette, but she just overshot her teammate in the middle. Number 2, Hannah Lord. For North, Emily DeLeo tried to lead a teammate. Number 7 in the middle is Emma Alvarado. Anxious to get a touch. She has been roaming from side to side here around the 50-yard line with not a lot of touches, although she seems to be open. If a teammate could snatch one away and give her the ball. Case in point right here, as DeLeo takes it, she's going to shoot from distance. She did have Alvarado to her right open, but just took a shot, literally, and it's an easy save for the Cardinals, who take it right to midfield and beyond. As Ramalho lost the handle out of bounds. Delaney, on the receiving end of that pass, it was just a bit too far out in front of her. Ball bounding over by the Red Hedges, signature look of Stello Stadium at this time of year in the fall. Well, Tom King, talking before the game, said that first goal would be the goal. It might be the only goal of the game, and so far it's a prescient comment as we've played a solid 14 minutes plus and no sign of a goal really. Just a little bit of a tester on the North goalie. Into the middle. North clears it away. That was the best job by a defender, just booting it a distance and gaining some space. It's a nice weapon to have in your toolbox if you can just get a hold of it in your own end and just kick it 40 yards, 50 yards. We haven't seen North do a lot of that. Here's Lillian Brooks, who's taken a lot of the goal kicks. She's going to let that roll onto her goaltender so she can punt it away. And she does. I believe that's Allison Guertin, number 20 in goal. Or it could be Maddie. Ashlyn Guertin, number 25. Or Maddie Bowen. Looks like we have twins, Allison and Ashlyn Guertin, both freshmen, who are both listed as goaltenders, numbers 20 and 25 for Bishop Guertin. It's Grace Carden in goal. That's who it is for the Titans, number 23, Grace Carden. So Maddie Bowen, goaltender for Guertin, to our left, and it is Grace Carden to our right. The Guertin sisters are the goaltending tandem of the future for Bishop Guertin, apparently. Will succeed Maddie Bowen. Near sideline, Emily Neely. Did a good job of advancing it, but taken away. This is Emma Alvarado. Tried to find Emily DeLeo and Alvarado adjusting it forward to her right. Abigail Gomez-Yepes, number 1, had a touch, a successful one too. She advanced it, but BG defense has been tough. They've had a lot of takeaways right in that area, about the 20-yard line in football, which is 30 yards away from the 20 to 30-yard line here on the Stello turf. They have taken the ball away consistently from the Titans forwards, and no chance for any threat to develop, because the goal mouth is at the back of the end zone. You can just add 10 yards of distance from the ball to the goalie. So not really even close to making a threat have been the Titans so far in this first half. We have played almost 30 minutes of the 40. Emily DeLeo immediately repelled. Now with it is Abigail Gomez. She played it toward Alvarado, but another nice step up by the defensive Bishop Guertin. Emily Neely, she's had more touches than everybody, and always looking forward and kicking it and throwing it in forward from her spot near sideline. Foot race just to keep possession far side for Martha Lord. Comes away with it, kicks it downfield. Good lead pass, Sydney Thibault. Thibault crossing pass, and it's almost an own goal. It was off of the defender's foot, off the crossbar. There would have been nothing that Guertin could do, and it's a ricochet goal for BG after all. Oh, a collapse of the Titans defense right there. The Cardinals capitalize on a breakdown on defense for the Titans. It was nearly an own goal, and we're glad that that wasn't a goal, because that's really a deflating feeling. But number 14 for Bishop Guertin, Maddie Neely, got that goal. She was camped at the far post. The ball just ricocheted to her, and it was an easy put in. There was nothing that Grace Guertin could do at that point. Grace Guertin besieged by the ball there. The first touch was an attempt by a Titans defender to clear it wide of the goal. Instead, it was nearly dead center on the goal off the crossbar, and it stayed out. But the subsequent rebound and pass ended up on the foot of Maddie Neely, and she's got another chance here as the Titans need desperately to clear. BG calling for a handball in the box. They're not going to get it apparently, and here come the Titans to clear it. So BG threatening to double up immediately after their opening goal. 1-0, the Cardinals lead it. You're watching it live if you're seeing this on a Thursday, October 29, in this cold, rainy day. It seemed only a matter of time that Bishop Guertin would open up the scoring, as they were the only team of the two that had any kind of an offensive plan or threat going. I don't want to say plan, that's wrong, but they just chances. The chances were for Bishop Guertin, having the ball mostly in their possession in the offensive zone. And now ball ricochets off players for both teams. Titans trying to come up with something here. Back to Maddie Neely, and she plays it back to her defense as Grace Maloney slides it across, gets the return pass. Emily Neely back from her midfield defense position. BG playing some keep away in their defensive end now as they go across the field with it. And lead pass finds Grace O'Malley. O'Malley lead pass down the field. Finds the foot of Sydney Thibault. Thibault to the far sideline. BG advancing the ball deep before the Titans kick it out of bounds to relieve the pressure.
Well, there was a point where they weren't able to advance it deep. North was doing a good job of keeping the ball in the middle of the field. And, but BG, on the other hand, was very good defensively. They didn't let North penetrate. But suddenly BG found a magic potion and got the ball downfield and was able to get that one goal. I believe it was number 14 got it, I think.
Yes, it was Maddie
Driscoll?
Maddie Neely.
Oh, Maddie Neely, okay.
Yeah, I think her sister Emily Neely is on the team as well.
Yeah, there's a bunch of sisters on the team.
Yeah, and that was nearly an own goal. You saw that, Tom. The defender had actually kicked it off the crossbar by mistake.
Right.
And it's fortunate that didn't go in. It's a sick feeling when you score.
Then it bounced back to Neely, and she put it in.
And she put it in. And Grace Carden just had no chance, either
None.
on the crossbar shot or the ricochet.
Nope.
Maddie Neely standing by herself by the far post.
But the key was the penetration that Guertin finally got after they had some early in the game. And then North was doing a great wall. The big blue wall at midfield just stopped them from being able to get the ball downfield. But here, look at it now. All of a sudden, things have untracked. I think Guertin was a little cautious of the offsides plays. They weren't going downfield as much as they normally do. North was doing a good job on the wings.
First corner kick right here.
Yep, right, exactly. See, that tells you a lot about how well North has played defensively. They just had that one lapse to allow that goal.
Yeah, first corner kick coming 25 minutes into the game.
And there were a ton of corner kicks in the Merrimack game. So that shows you a little bit about what North's done. The problem is, North's got two high-octane scores. They're going to have to unleash them sooner or later.
Yeah, Ariana Dumaine and Emily DeLeo have not been really heard from at all here in the first half.
So let's check this out.
Into the traffic, and it's into the goal.
Yep.
And it counts. It's a header for Bishop Guertin. It was a terrific corner kick. I believe it's that girl with the headband right there.
Yes, it is. It was her.
And we'll get the number on the goal scorer. It starts with a 2, and it ends with a 0. That's 2-0. Allison Guertin, a freshman, with the second goal of this playoff game.
That's how deep they are.
Yes, and she came from her defender position, Tom, that had her that home.
Of course, all that happens after I leave. Right? Great photo opportunities. And I'm not there for them.
Down at the Titans' goal. So it's a big 2-0 lead here in this preliminary round playoff game as North takes on Bishop Guertin. North in the blind draw. This is their first playoff game. BG, as Tom mentioned, forced to play Merrimack in the opening round.
Remember, we talked about that on Monday, John. And Nashua South had to play a playing game after they won, 8 games, so and beat North twice. So it's
just the luck of the draw, right?
It's all luck of the draw. That's the way it was fairly done because of all the cancellations and everything else with virus concerns. Some teams didn't play the same amount of games and everything else. Now, football did a little bit different. They went with winning percentage to try to give teams credit for their wins, and I thought that was a good idea too. And I think in the football pairings, it shook out the way it probably should have. There's nobody that's really a high seed that shouldn't be.
There's a lot more wear and tear to playing a football game than a soccer game, right? When you're a favorite soccer team, it's no big deal to play an extra game, really, against a lesser opponent, maybe.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Tell Tom Bellin that after he had escaped with a win over Nashua North the other day. That was it 1-0. I mean, it was just it was
a grind.
Yeah, I mean, well, look at North almost North almost took the lead themselves.
Yeah.
And South didn't score until after that with 6 minutes left, John. No, they don't want to have to play that game if they don't want to.
They don't have to.
BG had to play Merrimack in a playing game, John. It was 0-0 at the half.
Okay.
It's anybody's game in soccer in tournament play. Really is. The wear and tear of the extra game doesn't matter. It's the added chance of being eliminated that matters. Think about it. You play baseball, right? Suppose you had to play.
I made the wrong assumption that when you do the blind draw, one of the teams is a weak team. That's not how they do it, right? It could be 2 top teams.
John, they drew everything out of a hat.
Okay.
Everything.
I see. Okay.
Nothing makes sense in the pairings.
Well, I think they should have thrown that in. They should have thrown in winning percentage for the bottom teams had to play the play-in game. I think they should have done it that way.
They
should have had 5 bottom teams.
Maybe they should have, but they decided at the start of the season they weren't going to because they didn't know who was going to be able to play and continue on through a season and how many games they were going to be able to play. So they did not do that. Football resisted that. The other sports did not. For example, Sauhegan in field hockey, they're playing in a semifinal today. Sauhegan's won 11 games. They haven't lost. They're dominant. They have to go to Oyster River today, a team that won 3 games during the regular season.
Have a road game.
In the semifinal game.
In the semifinal. Wow.
You know, so, I mean, that's
great speed here by Bishop Guertin.
Yeah,
Matty Neely, the goal scorer.
They haven't shown it this game too much. A little bit here and there, but not a lot. I think the turf has something to do with it. And the thing is, the one player that North is doing a good job of kind of taking out of the game a little bit, Brooke Paquette, you haven't mentioned her name much at all. She had 2 goals the other day against Merrimack. She was a force in the second half. We haven't heard from her too much in this half.
Cardinals trying to take away here. That would have been a break-in had Sidney Thibault been able to pick the pocket of the Titans defense. I said North does a nice job of getting it beyond midfield. 12:15 to go, first half, 2 40-minute halves. Bishop Guertin's got 2 goals on the board thanks to a flurry here in what amounts to the second quarter of play, even though they don't divide it up into quarters. 3 fresh players come onto the pitch for the Cardinals, 9, 6, and 4. That's Katie Boudreau. Brooke Paquette had actually taken a breather there, and Sophia Cote is into the game. I think that's Sophia Cote that got a first touch on the far side there after the throw-in, but the Titans take it away. A couple players booting at a ball about waist high before it goes off out of bounds off the Titans. Throw-in for Delaney Ramalho. A couple players vying for possession as it comes in. Emma Alvarado tried to get a hold of it, but Bishop Guertin will take possession back to their defensive line. So the game's first corner kick producing a goal. Coming after the goal in the regular course of play, 2-0, the Cardinals lead it.
Quiet day for Aaron Morris so far in the BG goal. I really want to see Dumaine and DeLeo, get loose and put some pressure on BG just to see their talent. They're great scorers. It's great to watch them play. We saw DeLeo or John earlier in the year against South, and she was a force. It'd just be great to see that and see them put up that kind of a fight against this Guertin team, and they're capable of doing it.
So a free kick here for the Titans as BG backs up, anticipating the distance from the boot here by Emily DeLeo. Cardinals do a nice job of absorbing that and coming back the other way with it. Did go out of bounds, according to the official, underneath the tent there. Blocked from our view. It'll be a throw-in.
It is a soggy day out there, John Collins.
Yeah. And the turf can take a lot.
Yeah, see, there's no problem in playing the game because of the turf. The turf is fine. The problem is in terms of,
only seen a couple of slips.
Just how slippery it can be.
Yeah.
That's the thing, and it's a cold rain too. There's nothing wrong about it.
It's on the verge of snow, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get a whole lot,
No.
or it's not like that Halloween storm we had or pre-Halloween storm we had 9 years ago, back in 2011, where the snow was so heavy the transformers were blowing right and left around town.
Wow, yeah. Remind me.
Yeah, I was here.
Fire department was busy
I
that
was
night.
here. Well, you weren't working for them then.
9 years ago.
9
you're
years
right.
ago.
No,
9 years
I
ago.
heard about it though from the people I work with.
Yeah, it was just brutal. You know,
Yeah.
I mean,
Took down all the lines.
all the lines.
and-
I had to go. I had to get out of town to
Yeah.
stay somewhere because it was just to stay with a buddy of mine because it was so. The one friend I have, you know, because it was so lousy, no power and everything else. I don't think we're in for that this time. Knock on the wood here at the press box at Stella State. Here's a steal.
Nice
Now this is
interception.
DeLeo right here.
Launches it, and it's a ricochet. Actually, at the side of the post. I'm not sure that would have went in, but
it's a corner for North.
Yeah.
That was a great save by Morris.
She had a scramble.
Yeah, because she didn't expect the ball to get to her.
No. It was kind of a ricochet thing off a defender.
Yeah, it did. You know, we saw that yesterday. Nashua South won their game against BG and the boys on an own goal. I'll talk about the difference between playoff soccer and regular season soccer in a second. But let's see this corner kick.
By DeLeo. And it's into the traffic.
Yeah, but headed away by Guertin.
Yeah, it was one of the taller defenders in there.
Here's the difference, John. Nashua South boys beat Bishop Guertin by an aggregate score of 12-2 in 2 games. Okay? Yesterday, they needed an own goal to advance in the playoffs. 2-1.
Wow.
So that's the difference in playoff soccer. It's a whole different mentality, a whole different feeling, I think.
Foul called on a Titans forward, so it's a free kick for Bishop Guertin from their own end with 7:10 to go in the first half. The Cardinals enjoying a 2-0 lead at the moment. We are live on a Thursday, October 29 of 2020. Who's the home team today, Tom? North. So they have the fans here.
Because of the bye.
Yeah.
But
we welcome our BG fans who are watching at home.
John, I think they're letting in some BG fans here today.
I do see. I saw
the green umbrellas, the green and white umbrellas.
Maybe that's just an accident.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Because I see
well, they might be NHIAA umbrellas.
I think
a logo
they are,
on them.
yeah.
Maybe that's it. Yep.
Yeah.
Although, I don't know. There's green cushions over here. Seat cushions. I'm not sure.
Infiltration.
Maybe.
How do you know? Like I don't think they ask you at the table.
Yes, they do. You have tickets.
Oh, I see. I was signing the media sheet.
You're given a block of tickets. Right. Per player.
Right. Six minutes to go, first half. The Titans would love to get a goal here. They almost did.
Now in
cut the deficit in half.
In the semis, with Wyndham and BG could have hosted this game hosted the semifinal game in field hockey semis, but they allowed Guertin, or actually that ball goes through Morris. They changed the venue to Bedford to allow a neutral site to allow for fans of both teams. So Wyndham fans could attend.
Aaron punts it to about the 40, and the Cardinals do control it. Titans have done a better job of shifting the field a little bit here late in the first half.
Yeah, it's a four-person wall back there defensively, and now it's
the Cardinals on the attack. Maddie Neely, one of your goal scorers for the Cardinals, had it. Near side now is Sophia Cody. Cody in a foot race with the Titans. Right into the goaltender's arms. That was a great centering pass by Cody.
It was. It just went a little. It was maybe, a foot too far, maybe? Sure looked like there was an opportunity there.
Good thought by Sophia near sideline as the Titans try to muster an attack. 4.5 minutes to go first half.
They've got that one shot by DeLeo. Anytime DeLeo touches the ball, there's danger for Bishop Guertin and a chance for Nashua North. Same with Ari Dumaine, who I'm looking for on the field. Have we seen her today?
She's got it right there.
All right, there
Number
she is.
10,
Number 10, yep.
She tried to get past the defender, but a good play by Kate Daly, number 24 for BG, who might be marking Ariana Dumaine. I don't know. Sometimes you can assign a shadow to a
you can.
Great player. And certainly, every time I've seen Ariana Dumaine, number 24 has only been a couple of steps away. We have a substitution for the Cardinals onto the pitch. Emily Neely, who played
See,
excellent minutes. Took a
yeah,
short breather.
You have to wonder, if you're Nashua North, you're going to play the way you played all year, but you have to wonder going into these games, are you tempted to just try to be in a defensive shell and force, like Nashua North almost did in the boys' game, to penalty kicks, right?
Right.
Yeah, overtime,
it almost got there.
And almost. Well, I mean, we had to play 2 overtimes first if it hadn't, but it almost got to overtime. So.
Yeah. Almost got to overtime.
Oh, here's a
good
left foot
move.
Left foot.
Matty Neely still has it. It's alive toward the far post and out of bounds. Was it deflected? It could be a corner kick.
It was. Had to be.
I thought it was.
Yeah, it sure
looks
did
like
too.
They're going to call it a goal kick.
Right.
I don't know.
Interesting play right there. I mean, 2 defenders, and they still couldn't stop her.
Matty Neely has played
great
soccer today.
I think the danger is the Titan defense had to kind of keep an eye on the back of their head to see if there was anybody for a cross.
Right, for the easy put in.
Here we go again down the side. She's got a step.
Neely has
She's going to let it fly.
In the middle,
right there.
Into the goal.
Yep.
Well done by the Cardinals for goal number 3. And we'll have to keep an eye on the goal scorer getting congratulated. Number 9 from Tim O'Neill, our cameraman right on it. Katie Boudreau with the put away. Katie Boudreau, the sophomore forward, on a great feed from Matty Neely, who's got a goal and an assist.
Solid game. Solid game by BG right now. I told you, Neely with that step on the defender looked awfully good.
It's funny, you just mentioned that type of a play. You had Matty Neely bearing in toward the goal, and the question is there somebody to pass to? The first instance there was not, but in that instance you saw Katie Boudreau on the receiving end of a great pass and the easy put in. And it's a 3-0 lead with 2:20 to go in the first half. They will keep the time on the field starting in about 20 seconds is how the officials like to do it.
All right, 2 minutes in the first half, 5 in the second. But right now,
what was the score when these teams met earlier in the season?
I believe they were 3-1 and 5-1. I'm not completely positive, but I'm pretty sure that was it.
They played twice in a week, right?
Yes, they did, yeah. The second game, once in the middle of the week, the second game on a Saturday.
Down the sideline, that one is, I thought it was offside, but they're going to let it go.
See, here's Brooke Paquette right here.
Yep, Brooke Paquette, number 6 in the middle.
Yep.
Titans intercept. A good thing they did. That would have been another tough one to stop for Grace Guertin.
It's a good Guertin team, John. Very good Guertin team. We all knew going into the year it was going to be a good team. There's a chance right here. Nope.
Brooke Paquette with the twisting pass attempt. That's going to stay in a tempting amount of time.
Boy.
And just not able to keep it
foot.
in.
Yeah, not able.
That one, it looked like it was definitely going out of bounds, and all of a sudden it started to hover. So we're under 2 minutes left in the first half. A very impressive first half for the Cardinals, up 3-0. Yeah, it's one of those days where if it was a baseball game, they would have canceled it at about 9 a.m.
Yep.
But not soccer. That goes on.
Well, not a lot of these tournament games. They want to get these games in, you know?
Yeah.
Not much great weather tomorrow. You know, first half isn't going to be good.
Tom, they played the winner of Alvern South, which is going on right now. The winner of this goes up against Alvern South on Sunday.
Right.
Where will that game be played?
Well, that game, BG had to play a play-in game, so they'll be on the road throughout.
Wow.
Yep.
So that could be in Alvern. We'll see how they do against South, though.
Or it could be back here.
Could be back here if South wins.
Yep.
Yep. And what time will that go? Will that be
don't know yet.
3 o'clock? We
don't
know yet. We're just mentioning that is the day we set the clocks back an hour. So
right.
It's going to get dark early on Sunday the 1st, November 1st. That'll be where the winner of this one goes to play next. So we've ended the first half on a 3-0 lead for Bishop Guertin, who are out to congratulate each other. It almost has the look of the end of the game, but we still have 40 minutes of soccer left to play. John Collins along with Tom King, our cameraman Tim O'Neill, and we will be back with second half action here at Stellos Stadium after our halftime break, which they put up 9 minutes and 40 seconds. And we will be back here with the second half coming up on Nashua TV.
In these challenging and changing times, the Nashua Division of Public Health and Community Services would like to share a public health moment with you. Communicable Disease Nurse Coordinator Flavia Martin is here to answer a common COVID-19 question.
Flavia, we've been asked if somebody has a positive test with COVID-19 but no symptoms, do they still need to quarantine?
Absolutely. So if you have a positive COVID result, even with no symptoms, it's still very important to isolate. The reason being is that we know that about 30 to 35% of people who are infected with coronavirus have no symptoms. That's the asymptomatic person, but they're very capable of spreading viruses, viral particles, and spreading disease. So for that reason, it is still very important if you have a positive test result, even with no symptoms, it's still important to isolate for the full 10 days from the date of test and maintain separation from everyone else.
For more information on COVID-19 or to schedule a COVID-19 test, call 603-589-3456 or visit our website at nashuanh.gov/COVID-19.
Welcome back, everybody, to Stellos Stadium in Nashua for second half action. Bishop Guertin taking on Nashua North in girls soccer. It's a preliminary round playoff game here on an October 29 of 2020, a Thursday afternoon, cold and rainy. If you're watching then, we are live here on Nashua TV. John Collins with Tom King, our cameraman Tim O'Neill, as we get set to watch whether North can make any headway into this 3-0 deficit. They find themselves down after some overwhelming offensive pressure for Bishop Guertin, produced 3 goals.
The 3-0 deficit pretty much means they can't stay in a shell anymore. Not that they were doing it all that much, but they need to be more offensive minded and move people up and try to get a couple goals and make BG squirm a little bit. And that's really what they're going to have to do. They're going to have to free up Dumaine, free up DeLeo, and see what they can get. So
we got a correction on one of the goals, Tom.
First one, yeah.
Yeah, and I'd said it was not. It was somebody else, but it was Sidney Tebow who got the goal, senior, with a no doubt a satisfying goal to get in a playoff game. One of the 3 for the Cardinals.
Oh, there's a chance right here. See, North right now, right at him. They come right out at him. That's a good sign.
A change in attitude after the start of the second half. And right back come the Cardinals with a chance.
Paquette had to slow down because of the onside rule.
Brooke Paquette with the crosser.
Oh, and an empty net, and they couldn't convert.
2 players could have been on the receiving end of that Brooke Paquette crosser. And I believe the player that hit the deck, she's actually holding her right leg right now.
Yeah, they're all right.
Yeah, she's all right, but
she's okay.
They asked her if they wanted a substitute. She says no. Trying to get the number of that player.
The 2 chances right there, 2 players that were open, and that ball had so much spin on it off the foot of Paquette that they just couldn't get to it in time.
I think it was Haley Barker, number 18, that almost got to that ball. Would have been an easy one-timer into the net. And a 4-0 lead. Kind of a counterattack to the North pressure, Tom. See, if they started out the game like that.
Well, that's just it. Well, see, exactly. See, North's pressure is going to allow chances like Paquette just had because they have to move people up.
They're moving them up, and there's more room between the back line and the goalie to work with as an offense. It was kind of a circle the wagons defense for the Titans in the first half, and finally BG broke on through. About 25, 30 minutes in. So free kick for North in a pretty nice spot. I think Emily DeLeo's got the leg to get it really close from here, if not go right at the goaltender.
Sure does. This is the best chance that they've had other than the shot towards Morris that deflected. And there's a great shot. Morris is going to have to play it, but it goes wide.
She would have if it had not been wide.
DeLeo's got a great foot.
Yeah, she's going right at the goal. Erin Morris with a rare opportunity to take a goal kick here. 3 minutes into the second half. Official talking about selecting a different ball for some reason.
Yeah, drier one maybe.
Yeah. Comes down around the 30 where it's headed out of bounds by the Titans.
This has always been an iffy type of time of year around here. Last year we had we had the wind.
Yeah.
And the cold temperatures and the wind that we had here. And the year before, if I remember right, we had really cold weather. We had winter-like weather that we're going to have tomorrow night. You know, we had that on a day. At an afternoon, a sunny afternoon here at South. So we had 2 tournament games. And it's just, you never know in October around here. Winter seems to start earlier and earlier, John Collins, and I don't like it.
No. Yeah, it's indication of what's to come, unfortunately. Usually get good, solid 4 months of winter around here at least. To the middle.
And I don't think this is going to be a great winter either.
Yeah, we're going to pay for last. Wasn't a mild
last
winter
couple. No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
The last couple
Last
haven't been that bad. Yeah.
North with a free kick from their own end. Low liner. And the ball's fought for. Bishop Guertin possession. Emily Neely with a good shift to the right. Down the sideline she goes and advances it to her teammate.
Oh, and a step
Haley.
right here with a chance to cross it.
Haley Barker in the middle, deflected, and it's picked up by Grace Carden, who gets tripped up
All right,
by
Carden.
a BG forward.
Carden's
but
done a
she's
good
okay.
job when the
Yeah.
pressure comes on. That's a great play by a goaltender. She's willing to take the hit.
BG making things happen.
And she's masked, too. I don't believe she was masked in the first half. Was she, John? I don't think so. I was right down near her.
Didn't see it.
It looks like she's masked right now.
It's one thing about the winter. Maybe more people are going to mask up because it's just warmer, right? Might as well.
Oh, to have the mask on?
Yeah,
Yep.
at all times. Kicked out of bounds. Of course, that won't be true inside. That's what the health officials are worried about. More people congregating inside in the winter. And that's why the winter sports are in jeopardy.
Well, I think it's going to be up to each town, each school district.
Yep.
The NHIAA has already given the go-ahead, given them dates to play, everything else. It's just, and said it's up to the individual school districts whether they want to compete or not. And that's the way it was in the fall. Came out with the dates, said, okay, your turn.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
And athletic directors have to scramble, and not scramble, but they have to.
Boards of education.
Well, they have to prepare their presentations and how they're going to do things and what rules they want to institute and everything else. And or suggestions for rules, and then let the Board of Ed handle it. I mean, there are a couple of towns, John, that there's a
inadvertent but heavy collision there.
Yeah, Paquette, who's a big, she's a big girl, and
Abigail Yepes.
she's gonna get some. She's gonna body people, and when she does, you're gonna have an impact.
Both players bounce back.
Here's
The
a
Titans
chance
in
right here.
space.
Yep, in space is right. Good call, John, because that's exactly what they were, with an in space and a chance for a shot. Problem was, it just wasn't on goal. They've had 2 shots in this game where they've had the room to shoot, one on a free kick and one in space, and they've both been wide.
And Natalie Burgess with the chance there with the wide shot. Emily Morris with the goal kick. Drifts down to about the 30, and it's a Titan ball. Did a nice job of taking it away. Player hits the deck and doesn't like the call. Emily DeLeo doesn't like the call, namely, but Hannah Lord won the battle. According to the official, Hannah Lord was fouled, so it's a free kick for Bishop Guertin. Down the field and knocked out of bounds.
Alvern way up from what we understand on Nashua South right now. They're up 4-0, so it looks like the winner of this game will head to Hudson on Sunday. Time to be determined.
Throw in for the Titans.
This could be, not sure how the draw works in the semis. This could be the last tournament game here at Stellas this year. Not sure.
Huh.
Not sure how it's going to work.
Taking into account field hockey and soccer.
Well, field hockey's done
Field hockey's
for
done.
local in Nashua. BG lost the other night. So they're done. So,
Even as a neutral site, they won't use this.
no.
Loose ball far side, and the Cardinals will change it. Still Cardinal throw in. Into the game for the Cardinals comes Grace O'Malley.
Just keeps throwing players in there. Each team with a tent on their bench so they can keep some of their players dry.
Grace Kelly comes off. Cardinals moving it deep. Good takeaway there, and there's a crossing pass setting up. Bishop Guertin about to look like center it, but Titans defense took it away.
John, you should have seen the performance yesterday by BG goalie Aiden Lorendo in the boys' game against Nashua South. It was probably one of the best goaltending performances I've seen.
What did Aiden Lorendo do?
He just was out. The goaltender,
Everything.
he was just outstanding.
Yes. Cardinals trying to center.
Guertin hasn't been barraged. You notice she hasn't been barraged by shots?
No.
Guertin's made the most almost of every scoring opportunity they've had. They've had a couple that didn't go in, but that's been about it. I think she's got 3 or 4 saves in this game, and that's about it. It's not like Guertin has peppered her. They've been precise with their goals. The deflection.
Here comes a
Here we go.
centering pass, deflection.
Right there.
Hannah Lord shot over,
Over
and maybe wide to the right too. Good chance for Guertin there.
Sure was, boy. That developed pretty quickly.
Looked like Hannah Lord was going to just hook that one into the top corner, but misses high and wide. So goal kick for the Titans. Ball headed out of bounds by BG near midfield. It'll be a Titans throw-in, as it is looking like a quarterfinal between Alvern and Bishop Guertin on Sunday. Alvern BG. Played back to the Titans' end. Bishop Guertin with a commanding 3-0 lead. They got all 3 goals in the first half. Played just over 12 minutes here in half number 2. And again, BG winning the time of possession, which is not boding well for any kind of a North comeback. Into the corner, and it's kicked out the sideline. So instead of a corner kick, it looks like it would be a throw-in.
North not getting the offensive opportunities they need, John.
No.
You're going to have to try to figure out a way to get it upfield and free everybody up. And you can see, I'm looking at some of the players, you can see as the ball goes out of bounds to Bishop Guertin, just the frustration that they can't get the engine going. They had it at the start of the half. They had that forward thinking, and now Guertin has just kind of applied a little bit more pressure.
So a glance at the schedules took place earlier this fall. Alvirne did not play Bishop Guertin. They played South and North. Common opponents. They both played the common opponents of South and North.
Are you sure about that?
Well, I'm not sure because you said this NHIA thing isn't
sometimes it's not correct. Right, exactly.
But according to this, no, they didn't play. There's a skipper. I don't know if they scrimmaged each other.
No, there were no scrimmages allowed.
Yeah, so it just says Alvirne took their losses at North and at Merrimack, 2-0 and 2-1. They lost to this North team, 2-0.
I think you're right, because I don't remember Alvirne and BG boys playing each other either.
All right, so Alvirne did play Merrimack, and BG played Merrimack, and beat them 4-1 and 4-0. Alvirne beat Merrimack 6-3 and lost 2-1. So in successive games, 3 days apart. Well, there's a break for BG. Is it onside? Apparently it is. Grace Carden with the stop. And no rebound.
That looked like that was Paquette, I think, with the shot.
Yes, it was. Yep. Number 6, Brooke Paquette.
She's got a rocket for it, and but there was no real angle there. And
right.
Great job by Carden to just keep an eye on it.
Yeah, she anticipated, I think, exactly the type of shot that she saved. Emily Neely in the corner got bumped, but actually the ball had drifted over the line, so it's out of bounds. Titans throw in. BG undefeated. Trinity game there that was supposed to have been played. I guess that was probably another win. They beat Trinity.
Yes, they did.
Yeah. 8-0.
Well, Trinity playing out of their division.
Right, and they're supposed to get a rematch.
Yeah, it did. They won both of them. Yeah, they won both of them. They're a D3 team. So like I said, those aren't
reflected in the score, yeah. The most goals that Bishop Guertin let up in a game this year was to South, 3-2 on the 20th of October.
Well, we did that game. And Guertin had a 2-0 lead with about 14 minutes left, and we're all thinking, okay, it's over.
Yeah.
And South really did a great job.
Right, yeah. That was the near comeback, and and I think they actually had a chance to take the lead in that, didn't they, at one point?
I don't think so. It was pretty much
like
It was pretty much. I mean, Guertin led 2-0 late, and then South came back with 2 quick goals, and then they went to overtime, and Guertin scored, I think, about a minute 15 into the overtime.
I swear there was a hint of a chance there when it was 2-2.
You didn't do the game.
I didn't do the game.
No.
Oh, it wasn't me. In the middle. It's another game I'm thinking of, I guess.
Here's why they didn't play BG. They played Goffstown instead for Alvirne. So that'll be interesting.
It's been the boys' game, I was thinking.
Yes, the BG also had a period where they weren't able to play. They had to shut things down for about 4 or 5 days, I believe. So after field hockey got infected. It will be a rematch if they do it. Unless there's a big rally here, it'll be a rematch of last year's preliminary round game, which we did here at Stellis. Here's a chance for North right here, and Morris with a great save.
There was a rebound. Nobody was going for it.
Nobody was there, John.
Yeah.
They were all way out. That was a shot from way out. I don't know, was that Dumaine who took it? I'm not sure. But Morris actually had to make a play, and that's the second save for her in this game.
To midfield on a high bounce. Number 1 for the Cardinals is Grace O'Malley. Defended there by Michaela O'Brien, who forced it to the sideline but kept in. Cardinals trying to add to their 3-0 lead. All the scoring coming in the first half. Emily Neely with a throw in far sideline. 3 players will shuttle into the game first for the Cardinals, including Grace Kelly and Sydney Tebow and Maddie Neely. Very deep BG team. All those players coming on have had a lot to do with this 3-0 lead, and so 3 players that are coming off, including Brooke Paquette and Katie Boudreau and Hannah Lord. So fresh legs out there for BG. Bad news for the Titans, who are already behind 3-0, and now they got to dig deep, as they have not had as many substitutions at all to spell the players out on the field. Some of them played the full 50 minutes at this point.
Yep.
49 minutes.
Yeah, I don't think DeLeo or Dumaine have come off the field. If they have, only for a breather.
Delaney Grimalho playing it back to her teammate.
She had a very good game in the Merrimack game. Had a goal and was constantly pressuring the Tomahawks.
Emily DeLeo back heels it. Good movement there by the Titans.
Yeah, real good movement. I like it.
Oh, almost a deflection that would have put Emma Alvarado in.
Yeah, this is a different North team, like I said at the beginning of the year. They're a little bit, they're sharper than they were a year ago, where they had so much youth because of injuries. They had to call up a lot of younger players.
Sydney Tebow on trying to make a timed run, but good hustle by Caitlin Lorendi, number 3.
Yep.
And she outpaced the BG forward that time. Ball ends up out of bounds. A throw in for the Cardinals.
Lorendi, a defensive standout for this team, 3-year starter. This will be her last game if they don't advance. Same with Dumaine, same with DeLeo. They lose some firepower off this team.
Grace Kelly.
But you know what? They got through a season. Both teams.
Maddie Neely
so far.
Taken away by the Titans. They get it back. Near side is Martha Lord.
Yep, push it back to the open player.
Impressive move there around the defender, and the shot from distance blocked by the back line of the Titans defense.
And there's a chance right here is the bounce. They pounce on it.
Crosser right over the outstretched hands of the goalie, but fortunately for the Titans, no BG, a player on the receiving end.
Yeah, a quick play on that far end by BG to pounce on that loose ball and get a step on the defense. Just didn't result in a goal, but boy, that's the kind of opportunity you want to try to take advantage of. I think that was Paquette, but I'm not sure. See the number turn around. No, it wasn't. It was Neely.
Grace Maloney in there for Bishop Guertin, number 7. Junior defender.
So Neely with 2 assists in this game. Guertin likes to spread that scoring out.
Are your goal scorers? You have them written down there?
Yeah, well, we have, let's see. First goal was by Sid Tebow, assisted, a deflection, assisted by Neely, Maddie Neely. Second goal on the header off the corner kick, Allison Guertin. And the third goal for BG, assisted by Maddie Neely, was by number 9, Katie Boudreau. And that's your scoring for BG. about just over 20 minutes to go in the first half for goal number 1. 15:42 left in the half for goal number 2, and 2:38 left in the half for goal number 3. And it's been a quiet for second half, as you kind of maybe expected, unless North tries to get some chances and move everybody up.
Olivia Murray checks into the game for the Cardinals, number 11, spelling Martha Lord. And you could see that Olivia Murray was shaking off the cold as she came out onto the field. Probably had a coat on, awaiting her chance. Cold, no doubt, settle into your bones on a day like this. Sitting in shorts on the sideline, waiting for your chance to get in. But I'm sure she'll be able to warm up quickly as the crossing attempt by the Titans goes over the end line. Goal kick for Erin Morris of the Cardinals. Boots it to about 40 yards, and BG benefits from the deflection. Grace Kelly a little bit soft back to the defense, but able to play it as Ramalho. Bump there called against the Titans. Free kick for the Cardinals. Other way around. Free kick for the Titans at midfield. Just under 16 minutes left in this one. 2 40-minute halves. The time will be kept on the field at the 5-minute mark here in the second half by the officials. And the burst of 3 whistles will tell us if and when the game ends. And right now it's looking like a Cardinals victory, barring a miracle comeback by the Titans. Back to fetch it for North is Michaela O'Brien. Faces a couple of BG defenders. Arcing lead pass, Emily Lorendi. Caitlin Lorendi, excuse me. Grace Kelly with it. Allison Guertin, one of your goal scorers, got that header that Tom listed coming up from her defensive line position during a set-piece corner kick. The first corner kick of the game. Bishop Guertin producing the goal, the second goal of the game, and the feeling is that Cardinals may get the next one, rather than the Titans mounting a comeback as the Cardinals continue to dominate time of possession. All played near sideline. It was a good thought by North, but just too far out in front of the intended recipient, Natalie Burgess. Ball ends up in the stands this time.
It's got to go a long way to get there.
Yeah. And a throw in for Ramalho. Grace Kelly trying to dance around her opponent. Number 6 for the Titans is Ashley Go. Passed up to Emma Alvarado, but ball taken away, and back come the Cardinals on the attack. Sprinting speed, Maddie Neely, great stamina. She's had several of those sprints late in the first half here. Later in the second half, still has gas in the tank, but that one goes off her foot out of bounds, and it's a goal kick for the Titans.
It's tournament gas, not adrenaline. You know, that's a pure adrenaline right now because, boy, you run around the cold like this.
Yeah.
You know, with the rain pelting down on you and everything else, you got to get a little tired.
These girls are going to sleep well tonight. This usually happens when you run around in the cold for a while. Throw in for the Titans. Michaela O'Brien. .12:30 to go. That throwing kind of slipped out of the fingertips of Mikhail O'Brien that time, and still high bouncing for the Titans. Settle it with some momentum here. Splitting defenders, getting a shot away just wide. Nice individual effort there by North. Looked like number 18, Lily Baker. Although
You know the Titans would like to get on the board here
Could've
and
been
get a goal
16.
before the end of this game, and just
yeah,
to get some kind of
don't want to get
satisfaction.
shut out if you can
Yeah,
help
just
it.
to kind of get some satisfaction out of this. Guertin's done a good job of shutting everybody down.
Guertin did yield 1 goal in the play-in game to Merrimack.
Yeah, that was on a PK.
Was it?
Yep.
Was it a takedown in the box or a handball? Do you know?
I think it was a handball. I was surprised
Yeah.
that I didn't realize that it was that bad, big of a call. There was a lot of movement in front of the net.
What was the score at the time that Merrimack got that?
They were up 4-0.
PK, oh.
BG was up 4-0.
So it came after that.
Actually, they were up 3-0.
3-0?
Sorry, 3-0.
Okay.
Then it was 3-1 on the PK, and then BG scored with about 30 seconds left.
Okay.
4-1. And that was on grass. Don't discount the differences for some teams when they have to play on turf versus when they have to play on grass versus turf in a lot of these sports.
Sunday will be grass in Hudson.
Yes, it will. Yep.
What's the effect of that?
Speed, right?
Yeah.
Just got a tweet that said that South would host the finals, boys, if they were. And it would be here if they played. But you know what?
The finals.
Yeah, you know what? I don't count on that right now. They're all making changes and compromises and things like that. So now North here, DeLeo will have a chance. Is that Dumaine she's talking to? Can't tell.
Yeah.
But
it
yeah.
is, yeah.
So these two prime players, one of them is going to take this shot. It's going to be Dumaine.
Yeah, and it was Dumaine, I think, had the individual effort earlier. I misspoke about the number, but that one didn't make its way through. It was a advantageous spot for North, but not able to capitalize. They do have possession. Dumaine's pass finds the foot of Natalie Burgess.
Oh, right
Burgess
there,
shot.
Burgess. 2 good shots by Burgess in this game.
Aaron Morris absorbing that one midsection and no rebound.
9:24 left to play in the game. 3-0 BG with the advantage. All 3 goals in the first half. All 3 goals basically in the second half of the first half.
Yeah. And again, shuttling fresh players onto the field, the Cardinals.
Well, I think that's a good idea if you feel that you're going to be advancing, because you do not want to have anybody hurt in this game.
So Grace Kelly and Sydney Thibault come off.
You give me a tired player on the field, and
Yeah.
I'll give you a chance for a bit greater chance for injury, especially on a day like today.
Emily Neely, I think, has played every minute. No, she actually took a rest in the first half. That's
I
right.
think a lot of these
I
players.
think everybody did then.
Yeah,
He probably got everybody a rest.
Yeah,
Meanwhile, as we
Winston's
said,
Winston's
North's going the distance.
Winston's been around. He's a very good coach. Knew a lot of these players beforehand. With club soccer.
Delaney Ramalho showing off her dribbling skills in the middle of the field. That one just got ahead of her with a heavy touch.
Great defensive play there by North.
A step up by DeLeo, I believe. No, it was number 9, Lillian Brooks.
And now she's one-on-one.
Lillian Brooks is a senior, playing possibly in her last game.
And who's it off of? Is it going to be a corner? Or is it going to be North ball? I think it's going to be a corner, the way everybody's staying down on this end of the field.
It looks like you're right.
Yep.
And
But of course, BG, if you're BG, you basically take your time going into that corner.
Allison Guertin,
The clock ticks
yeah,
down.
Allison Guertin will take this corner for the Cardinals. They've had some really effective corner kicks, putting the pressure on the Titans defense. 7:20 left to go in the game. Curls into traffic right in the middle, and it's headed just over the crossbar. What a chance for Guertin.
Yeah, I like that corner. I don't like the corners that fly through and are untouched or the pass is over. I like the corners that go right into that box, right into the heart of the box, and let the ball dictate where it's going to go. You know?
Yeah, it's like a great pitch in home run derby. It's right in the middle of the zone.
Yeah, exactly.
Sweet spot.
It's just a ricochet here, a deflection there, a header there. Just a little bit too high for a fourth goal.
Yeah.
I'd like to see North get a couple of corners here late if they could do that and try to put some pressure on the Cardinals. Well, that's a good catch, John Collins. I would have said that Guertin had played Alvin, but no, you're right. I don't think they did, and that's.
Well, they do year after year.
Yeah,
right?
well,
This is a weird
because
year.
of the schedule, Alvin had Goffstown on there instead of BG. So this is going to be, it would be an interesting game. Alvin's had a good year.
And of course, Alvin with all kinds of momentum coming off of a game in which they score 4 goals at least.
Yep.
That was an update we had. And they get to stay at home, which is another bonus. Cardinals coming.
That's what I call
downfield.
space.
Grace O'Malley had a
Good
lot
grief.
of it, but what closing speed by Caitlin Lorendi.
Lorendi's a good athlete.
O'Malley forced to go all the way into the corner to keep possession.
She's done a great job over the years. She got hurt last
crosser
year.
squirts
here's a
through.
chance right here. Left foot, maybe? No. Good defensive play by North.
Sure
What's
was.
The whistle?
It was Olivia Murray for.
Whistle maybe against BG.
Guertin.
Everybody's walking back this way.
Yeah.
So it's a call against BG. North will have a free kick out of their own end.
Natalie Burgess with the hustle defense in front of her own goaltender to stave off
We're
what would have been an easy chance.
10 seconds away from what they call stoppage time.
Now, I thought stoppage time came after 0-0s on the clock because, again, watching too much Premier League, according to you.
Here
it's different.
Here they stopped the clock, so
Yeah, it is
that's
stoppage.
That's why they call it stoppage time.
Okay.
I'm calling it stoppage time.
That's the clock is stopped. I can't argue that.
Yes.
That's true. And that's what happens in the Premier League, but they wait till 0-0, and then they have stoppage time. And usually the team that's ahead is always imploring the ref to blow the final whistle. Into the corner.
Paquette.
Center
Is that
pass.
Paquette? Is she
Number
out there?
6, yes.
Oh, see, I'd pull her.
Brooke Paquette, yeah.
I'd pull her. I
She
don't
did have a long stretch of rest.
I'd
But
give her more. You got a 3-goal lead.
Yeah.
The way things are going,
Haley Barker checks in
the way
now.
things are going, you don't think North is going to be able to score 3 in less than 5 minutes. So, but that's just me.
Ball trickles over the sideline. Allison Guertin will have a throw in. No, she'll give over the ball to Hannah Lord to do so. Plays it to the middle and flipping to the other side now. Emily Neely able to step around the defender. Centering pass. Caitlin Lorendi got in the middle of that, but BG, another chance to cross it. It's going to go all the way to the opposite sideline and out of bounds before Cardinals can get there. So somewhere around 3 minutes left to go in the game.
What North could take out of this game, John, is that they kept BG, at least to now, off the scoreboard in the second half. You know, they
did.
survived all those chances that,
Yeah.
I'd say were probably, 4 good chances that Guertin had, and then North survived them all.
And only, 1 or 2 corner kicks maybe? And they survived those because one of them was headed over the bar. But, yeah, if you put 2 halves together like that, you're talking about
overtime.
You're talking about maybe 1 goal decides it and or penalty kicks later. North with it. Abigail Gomez gets knocked down by her counterpart, number 1, Grace O'Malley, and that's a whistle against the Cardinals.
I'd say we're probably about 2.5 to play.
Yep, around there.
Haven't seen it much.
DeLeo going down.
Yeah, we haven't seen everybody retreat down the field that much in the last 15, 20 minutes, have we?
No.
No. It's been a tough road for the Titans to try to get loose.
Ball bouncing free, and a good defensive play by Emily Neely. And, 24 is Kate Daly, who poked it away there. Throw in for the Titans. Near sideline, Natalie Burgess. Intercepted. Hannah Lord kicks it forward. Maddie Neely. Two players collide hard there. Officials call it clean play. Play on.
It's got to be pretty blatant at this point.
Yeah.
2 minutes to go, maybe less than that.
Delaney Romalo pointing the way to where she wants her teammate to run to, and I think that's Maddie Neely. And good play by Carden to come out, because Maddie probably would have outran the defender to that ball.
Well, yeah. And the thing is, all right, say it was scoreless and we got like a minute and a half to go. You would have seen a lot more speed there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
There a lot more
sense of urgency.
Yeah, a lot more
would have been
urgency.
upped.
You're up 3-0. You're not really going to gas it.
That's true.
Of course, when you say that Alvin, it could be Alvin. Nashua South is king of comebacks. I mean, they came back to tie Guertin and sent it to regulation.
That would be something,
They were
wouldn't
also 3-0 down on Merrimack in the first after halftime, and they scored 4 in the second half. So don't count South out yet. I don't know what the current score is. Here's a chance right now for Guertin again, and a nice defensive play.
it? Yeah, North intercepts what would have been
I think it was Brooks, wasn't
almost a penalty
Not sure.
kick for, I think it was number 18 for the BG you're talking about? Or no, Haley Barker was, Brooks was the defender.
Yep,
Yeah,
she did
yeah.
a nice play.
Paquette
They were pushed
gets
off.
bodied off the ball
Yep,
by Emily DeLeo.
that sets a tone, huh? Two good players.
Yeah, and that's the
And
game.
that'll do it.
It is a 3-0 preliminary round playoff victory for the Bishop Guertin Cardinals over the Nashua High North Titans. The winner of this one will play the winner of Alvern South that was going on simultaneously in Hudson. So we thank you for watching. If you saw it on a Thursday, October 29, 2020, we were watching it, broadcasting it live. For Tom King and my cameraman Tim O'Neill, I'm John Collins. Thanking you for watching and saying good evening from Stellos Stadium, everybody.